Letting go of the old Chevy Sonic today. And here it is. Broke down for a couple of years now. I'm glad to see it go. And listen, there's a lot of you out there. I know you love this little car. I'm not trying to disparage, I'm not trying to shame Chevy Sonic owners. It was a fun little car while I had it, all right? And maybe that's some of my advice to you. 100,000 mile warranty. There's a lot covered in that warranty that Chevy may not tell you about. So make sure you bring it in when the engine light comes in if you're under 100,000 miles. Some of the stuff that is covered, you may be surprised because of this engineering manufacturing flaws in the vehicle. If it's over 100,000 miles and you're not mechanically inclined, even if you are, like, you kind of have to be a tech to work on these cars. I was able to get the vehicle up to 157,000 miles. Your mileage may vary. I would get rid of the vehicle once it's out of warranty if I was you. I don't advise, talking to a lot of my mechanic friends, man, I don't advise you getting one of these extended warranty programs. Most of them are a scam. They deny most claims. They're a waste of money. Mechanics hate them. It's just sad. Tonight, JT and I are going to talk a little bit about that. If you're watching this today, I don't know. The warranties, should you get an extended warranty? No. But made in America, Lake Orrin, Michigan. The old Chevy Sonic here. Curious as to where it goes from here. I might keep the VIN number and watch it online. Any public information about it if somebody decides to fix this car up. That would be interesting. And some of you may be asking, why didn't you fix it, Russ? Well, I'll link in the end screen the video when I figured out what was wrong with it. It probably has blown either a head gasket or one of the pistons. But odds are a head gasket. I don't know, the engine warped something. The compression was down on all cylinders. That's pretty major surgery. The reason I didn't tackle this expensive, beyond my pay grade job, because it's not my vehicle. It belongs to Wells Fargo, the bank. Let me explain. My unwise decision of trying to start a career as a private driver using Uber and Lyft was not the wisest, to say the least. I didn't know it was going to happen in the future. I got paid pretty well starting out, but over time, as these two companies compete, you know, Uber lowers prices, Lyft lowers prices. There were these two big companies competing with each other, and drivers are in the middle. Every year it got a little worse. So the way that a lot of these car companies pack these loans is you're paying mostly interest up front so they can get the maximum amount out of you. And by the time, you know, I hit 100,000 miles, I still owed like, I don't know, $8,000 on the vehicle. So making like $6 payments towards the principal in the beginning. That's how you gotta watch out for these finance companies, man. So yeah, when it broke down, it's like, hey, I can't afford to pay payments on a car I can't drive. This is a business for me. Went out and bought the van, which was more profitable, but still had mechanical issues with that as well, as you can see by some of my past videos. And that's the deal with these little engines. Turbocharger just got too hot. Had overheating problems, on and off the whole time I've had this car. Ran out of warranty at 100,000 miles. Chevy does the warranty up to 100,000 miles on the water pump, which is interesting. But I wouldn't recommend anyone buy one of these vehicles, or the Chevy Cruze for that matter. They're just not engineered very well. This car should have lasted a lot longer than 150,000 miles, and yeah, it's sad. Because it's a good looking, sweet, fun to drive little car, But at the time I'm surrendering it, it had CV joints going out in the front. I could hear them knocking, going around corners. Just a lot of problems. A constant engine light on for something. Yeah, man. Unfortunately, Chevy Sonic. Not much of a Chevy guy anymore. Unless they change leadership or engineering style. It's sad, but yeah. Finally, Wells Fargo, who I had to file bankruptcy. That's my Uber and Lyft career. And I'm a mechanic, man. There's a lot of videos on this car. I've kept this car running past the warranty, but there's only so much you can do with some of these vehicles. So yeah, Wells Fargo's coming to retrieve it. I wanted to say something about bankruptcy in this video as well. It's not the end of the world. I know COVID-19 has had a lot of people unemployed, a lot of people unable to pay their bills, and Dave Ramsey is a guy who does financial advice, mostly in churches, and Christian guy. He's gone outside of that for his financial advice, has a huge radio show that's popular, not just on Christian channels, but one of the things he's so discourages bankruptcy. He says it's like getting a divorce. No, it's actually not. And I'm not trying to, disparage Dave Ramsey. I think he's got some good advice, but some of his stuff on bankruptcy. Listen, my wife and I have been self-employed for 25 years. We've had to file bankruptcy twice. The first time we did it, our credit improved dramatically. We're in a 13 right now. We're really not trying to borrow anything or have a bunch of credit cards. We're not going to go do that. But yeah, it's not the end of the world. And your credit, well, it's going to damage your credit for 7 years. So is not being able to pay your credit card bills. How long is it going to take you to pay those credit cards off? And if they're maxed out, that is already damaging your credit. Another thing is these shysters with their credit rebuild. This is going to damage your credit pretty close to the amount of damage that bankruptcy is going to do. Now, some people might argue with me on that, but I know friends that have gone through, credit counseling, and their credit's just as bad, if not worse, than ours. And this is the second time we filed bankruptcy, all right? Listen, businesses do it all the time. Companies do it. But if you're an individual or a family and you do it, oh, you're a dirty sinner or something. I don't know how these people think, but it's not the end of the world. It is your right in the U.S. law. It is debt forgiveness. These companies, they don't care that you're getting in a ton of debt with a huge interest rate. Corporations file bankruptcy as a business practice, and if you are especially self-employed, or if you've been saddled with a bunch of debt, you're out of work, you're watching that interest rate just keep rising, you shouldn't feel bad about calling a bankruptcy attorney, all right? Our credit got better after we filed bankruptcy. Part of our situation is we already bought our house. Before we filed the bankruptcy, we own this house, we own this property. As long as you keep paying your house payment, they're not going to take your house, all right? And if you're behind on your house payment, bankruptcy law can help you or keep you from not getting foreclosed on. I love you guys. Some of you guys are suffering and you're trying to keep your good name for listen, you didn't sign up for a global pandemic, all right? And I don't know how things are going to play out, but bankruptcy law may be an option for you. You shouldn't feel shame about it, especially if you're in one of these industries. Like the economy's been hit hard. We're possibly looking at another depression. So seriously, I wanted to throw this out there. So also, before we filed bankruptcy, and the reason the Chevy Sonic has been in the yard here for over 2 years is because Wells Fargo just wouldn't pick it up. Like, they straight told me that in the beginning. They said it, you know, I was gonna surrender the vehicle. I can't afford to pay on it. They kept calling the collections people, right? I'm like, come get it, right? And they said they would come get it, and then a few weeks later they called and said it's not really worth coming to get because of the damage to the engine and the value of the vehicle. And so it sat here until I was able to retain an attorney to help me get the property that I can't sell, right? I can't have it towed away. It's not mine. It's theirs. So they're responsible for it, not it sitting on my property. It's not even on my property. It was on city property, the alley behind my house, city property. And what you're about to hear is some legal saber rattling on my part to get this vehicle off my property, or city property behind my house here. This was a few weeks, about 3 weeks of phone calls. I've clipped it short as to not be boring, but this you might find interesting. Got to keep on these people, man. What's that?
Yes, sir. Your name?
Oh,
May I have your name, please?
Oh, and this call is also being recorded. I'm calling on behalf of myself, my bankruptcy attorney, and I don't know, bankruptcy attorneys everywhere. So,
Oh, okay.
so I have
do you have an account number or social security number?
So the only thing that I can legally do, if we just can't keep it here at our residence anymore. So what do we need to do to, like, do I need to tow it somewhere? What do we need to do to surrender the vehicle?
Well, let me pull up the account because I may have to redirect the call over. This is just customer service. I may have to get you to a higher department that handles all the repos and, voluntary surrender the vehicle.
Yeah, and I'm recording this call, for my bankruptcy attorney as well, because bankruptcy attorneys everywhere want to, know how to get the banks to remove these vehicles. I mean, hopefully you guys are being, it sounds like you're being cooperative and helping me out with this, but from what I understand, it's a pretty big problem. The bank's not picking up broken down assets.
So much that was going on. Everything had to be put on hold because of COVID. So even if a customer asked us to come pick the vehicle, we weren't allowed to.
Yeah, but again, this has been 2 years, dude. This is long before COVID was a thing. Longer. And I'd like to be able to get this information today. It's been a long time, and working people all over the country are losing their jobs and now being saddled with, piece of crap cars they can't afford to fix or pay the loans on, and they're just sitting in people's yards like mine. I need to know what I can do to have this vehicle removed from my property, even if I have to pay for it, or get a buddy to help me tow it somewhere. Does that make sense? I don't have a title. I don't have any legal right to the vehicle, so I can't sell it.
Says that she apologizes for the extensive wait, but we just got the ban lifted off of all repossessions yesterday, the 27th of July. She's going to go ahead and review your account and have it notated. She wants me to have you call, if possible, call back in an hour for the status of the repo.
Okay. Do you have her number or your number or?
All right, no problem. Just to confirm, we're talking about the 2014 Chevy Sonic.
Yeah.
So I spoke with someone in the repo department, and I'm going to have them, we're going to go ahead and initiate the process of having the vehicle picked up. I might need to gather some information from you. Right now, I need to know whether or not the vehicle is drivable.
No, it's not.
You told me no, it was not drivable. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's not drivable.
No All right, problem. I did get some information. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to read it exactly how they told me. This says, for this account, your account, Mr. Shaw, it says it will be reviewed and approved for repossession by tomorrow.
Okay, great.
By tomorrow.
So yeah, that last dude, he was the most helpful. And listen, after calling Wells Fargo weekly, twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week since late July. The average call was between half hour and an hour. Most people didn't know what to do with me and would transfer me to someone else, and they would try and figure it out. I actually found the last guy an accident. I think somebody hit the wrong transfer button, and I got in some employee thing, and that last guy.
You understand, Mr. Shaw? Yes, sir. I would want someone to do it for my family. That's why I do. I believe in playing it forward. You know, treat someone as you want to be treated.
Yeah.
Mr. Shaw, before you leave me, sir, do you have any additional questions or concerns you think I can help you with today?
I think that'll do it, man. I appreciate you.
You as well. Please stay safe. There's still a pandemic. We appreciate you placing your time, Mr. Shaw. We thank you for calling Wells Fargo. You have a great day, sir.
All right. Thanks, man. You know, he didn't ask a lot of questions. I don't know who he was, but he made some phone calls, and boom, that guy made it happen. So finally, we can rest. And back to the eulogy. Lord, please accept the soul of this little Sonic back into your hands, unless somebody decides to bring it back to life. I don't know. Amen. A little bit of algae.
Does he want to take a look inside?
I've already been through it and got all my junk out of it.
Oh, he's talking to him.
Oh, he's talking to the little guy.
Take a look inside if you want.
He wants to see the.
I have little kids, they love the truck.
Oh yeah. Little boy wants to see the tow truck. My neighbor.
Everybody, it's car time.
There it goes.
He's watching.
The old Chevy
Finally,
Sonic.
It's been 2 years.
I picked up Marshawn Lynch in that car.
Really?
I shit you not.
Wow.
That's the most famous person I've ever probably met in my life.
Yeah.
There it goes.
Don't forget to subscribe, and why not watch another video? Stick around!